Hey everyone, I'm Brad from Calgary.
This is Sean from Cambridge, Ontario.
I'm Terry from Cornwall, Ontario.
Hey, this is Larry from Pitt Meadows, British Columbia. And you're listening to the Towing Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Towing Life Podcast, where the ditches are deep, the trucks are loaded, but the drivers are not. I am your host, TowManG. As usual, I am joined by my co-host, friend, and former co-worker, the one Jane Wonder himself, Mr. PlainGuy.
What is going on, G? What is going on? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Towing Life Podcast. What's going on with you today, buddy? You look like shit. You sound like shit. You getting the winter blues or what?
I like how you've asked me what's going on like 3 times. Now on the 3rd time, you finally let me get a word in, because I was going to apologize to all our listeners out there. I might sound a little nasally because I've been sick for like the past 5 days or so. Yeah, getting a little bit better. Not a whole hell of a lot. Look and feel like shit. How about you? You don't look or feel like shit, I hope.
I don't look like shit. I never look like shit. No, we've been pretty lucky. We've had a little bug going around. A couple of the guys have had a couple days off, little fever. You know, it's that time of year, right? The cold is here. It's warm in the truck. It's cold outside. It's warm in the office. It's cold outside. You're wet. You're everything else. It tends to bring it, you know. As some of you may or may not know listening, we've, finally started to get some snow where we are. I think you've had it a little longer than I have, G.
Yeah, it rained today, and all my snow said goodbye.
Yeah, we're pretty much in the same boat. It was a balmy 7 degrees today. Most of that snow is gone. The fact that we had snow in early December, I don't remember the last time we had that period. So, it feels like winters are kind of back to normal.
Yeah, the snow stuck around for a couple of weeks for us, which is unheard of in the last 5 years at least. Normally you get snow, and last for maybe a weekend, and then it'd bugger off again. And most of our winters, a lot of the past winters, it's been like that, where you would get just random snowstorms. The snow would dissipate. The piles would stay, but the snow would dissipate. So you wouldn't get those long periods of time for people to actually remember how to drive in the winter.
So it was like the first snow, every snow is what you're saying?
Yeah, almost. Made for some interesting times, but...
Absolutely. Well, we know what that first snow is. For you guys in the north, you understand it. It is amazing that people can go, 8 to 9 months with no snow. They've been driving it for 20, 30 years. And that first snow, everybody in the ditch. Everybody into the ditch. It doesn't matter who they were, how long they've been driving. It's crazy. The numbers, I swear, on first snow go up every year, higher and higher and higher.
I got some pretty bad tires on the back end of my pickup truck. And the first snowfall that we had, I was leaving for work in the morning, and I was a little tired. I think I only got like 3 hours of sleep that night, and I couldn't see where the edge of my driveway was because we hadn't plowed it yet or snow blown it yet. And my truck came off the driveway, and I got stuck, so I was late for work because I had to come back up, make the walk of shame, get my tractor, pull my truck out. It was great. It was a fun time.
When the tow trucks get stuck on the way, when the tow truck operators get stuck on the way to the tow trucks, it's never a good time.
Yeah, I was in my personal at the time too, so 4-wheel drive and everything didn't help.
Yeah, it didn't help. It doesn't matter what many drives you got, it's how you drive. And well, stuff happens at the end of the day, right? We've talked about it before on many shows. Stuff absolutely happens. It doesn't matter if you're the best, the worst, or somewhere in between. Stuff is bound to happen. And sounds like you already got your early winter bad juju out of the way, hopefully, and it's the last time you get stuck this year.
Yeah, if that's as worst as it gets this year, I'm doing pretty good.
Seems a good time, guys, to mention if you have any topics, questions, concerns for us. The emails have been rolling in, through the websites have been rolling in. We have seen, there was a gentleman that sent us a message the other day from, where was he listening from? I want to give him a shout out. I want to say it was New Zealand. So. Enjoying the show. So guys, we really appreciate it. You can reach us by email at thetowinglife@gmail.com, searching at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook. You can also find us at www.towinglife.ca. Your input and experience is always welcome, guys. Always welcome. We're over on YouTube. I believe we finally hit our follower mark required. that we should be changing the YouTube link soon, somewhere along the lines of youtube.com/towinglifepodcast. We will be working on that. We'll put a post out on the social medias. The light duty warriors, heavy duty warriors, you guys keep posting up some of these trucks. Every time I see these beautiful trucks you guys post up, I go, wow. And then week after week, there just seems to be nicer trucks coming in. It's awesome what you guys are doing. So feel free to keep sending it in. We always appreciate it. You may find your truck on the Facebook page at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook. Give a shout out, give a share, enjoy it. Head over to YouTube, drop a comment for the algorithm. It really appreciates, guys, everything you do. We are ever grateful. And that being said, we've got a couple things that we want to cover today, G. Is that right?
Yeah. Also, one thing I want to cover is the poll is now finished. And do you know who won or lost that poll?
Oh, I forgot about it. I should have pulled up
I don't
the stats.
have access to the results, so I'm finding out for the first time now.
You are finding out. Hold on, I'm working on it as we speak. I will tell you, all you TowManG fans out there, I am very disappointed in you. I will find it. Here we go. We have it open here. I can say it was damn near a landslide.
Really?
It was. I know a lot of people were worried. They said, I don't want to vote. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. It was completely confidential. I have no access to who voted what. I can only see the dates and who they voted for. And it wasn't the biggest poll. It was somewhere around the 20 votes came in. And it was easily 75% in favor of PlainGuy taking a week off. So nice. I absolutely ate my hat on that poll. But
my
you
hat's
guys,
off to you, all you fine people out there listening who voted in my favor. I'm not going to take my hat off right now because it's just as worse as my face.
The listeners have spoken, and they have decided that I will sit out an episode. Mr. G will have a special guest. We don't know when it is. We'll book the episode probably soon enough. We'll try and do it. I know we do have a guest coming up possibly for an episode soon. Until that's all confirmed, I don't want to give your hype up, but it is a very special guest, and I think it's a good point of view everyone will enjoy. So, but there will be an episode coming out hopefully by the end of December with G. I'm going to take a nice, back seat. I've got plenty of stuff to catch up on.
What I want to do is I want to try to film on location somewhere.
Oh,
I've got these nice fancy lights and I've got a couple cameras and I bought these lapel mics. So I figured might as well try to find a nice location to record from. Fingers crossed everything works out.
See, you guys lost out, right? I was going to have the best of guests as a co-host. It was going to still be in the studio, but I'm not going to, I don't want to break anybody's hearts, but it was going to be an A-list actor we had lined up. But you guys voted for TowManG, so that's what you get. I'm the fact that I got to call Angelina Jolie to cancel is fucking disappointing. I'm sure she's going to be crushed, but you guys voted that way.
Just heartbroken. So. Just heartbroken.
Yeah, you guys voted that way. You can live with it. You can live with TowManG, and I hope if your co-host is as monotone as you are, I'm excited. You know what? I want nothing to do with the episode. I am going to do nothing. You send it to me because I do the audio uploads that you guys are listening on Amazon Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. But I rarely listen to the episodes after we record them. I normally find some clips that you see for the socials. I don't think I'm going to do any of that. I'm going to have G send me the clips, or he can post them himself to the page. I want to listen to this episode and know nothing about it until I hear it. That is my plan for that episode.
And to be honest with you, you forget about what we talked about in these episodes just as much as I do. It's me editing it all and going through it. I've watched it like 3 times before it gets uploaded, and it's like, huh.
I'm on my Apple podcast, which is where we're available, guys. And if you do listen on Apple Podcast and you do follow us, just to give you a heads up, it'll auto download the episode when it comes out if you have us on your follow list. So anyone that's worried about using up data on the road, good piece of advice, head over to Apple Podcast, follow us on there. When the new episode drops, it auto downloads it on if you're at home on your Wi-Fi, saves you the internet usage. It's kind of a nice touch.
Yeah, that would be a nice touch. Saves me then going on YouTube and, streaming it off of YouTube plus the video.
Absolutely.
while I'm driving.
Absolutely. Apple Podcasts is one of my favorite places. I know the numbers have gone up. Spotify is still our number one spot. You guys rock. The other shocking thing, when we see numbers when it comes to the audio set, guys, on where you're listening from, it is neck and neck between Canada and the USA. I mean, one day Canada's got the most downloads. The next day it's the United States that has the most downloads. You guys are absolutely neck on neck. That will have to be one of our next contests. Who will show up more?
That doesn't make sense to me. That really doesn't make sense to me. You Americans, you've got a couple of podcasts down there. You're tuning into some Canucks who are head over heels for poutine. I said it the way you like it. Shut up. And maple syrup. Talk about towing and problems up here in Canada, which could be down from wherever you're listening to in the States. I really appreciate it. It doesn't make sense to me because we've tried to appeal to the Canadian audience because there wasn't a Canadian podcast for towing that we could find when we started the show.
Right.
It's absolutely amazing that you guys are listening. It's just, it boggles my mind. So if anyone listening in the States, can you please message us? Let us know why you're listening. What do you enjoy about the show? Is it us banter going back and forth or me stumbling over my words? Or is it just you so in depth into the towing industry, you want to get everything towing related to you?
It's very possible that it's actually just our funny accents that they enjoy.
This is true.
You know, I mean, I don't have many other answers. I'm actually looking at it right now. We also have, you know what, it's a good chance to give the shout out. Why not? We've got some listeners from all over the place. I mean, we've got listens coming in again. So right now I'm looking at it. I mean, it's a 6 download difference between the two countries. It's phenomenal, you guys. We've got some friendly listeners out in Sweden. Give you guys a shout out. The United Kingdom, Australia, Germany, New Zealand, the Virgin Islands, Norway, and Mexico.
Now, the way you guys tow out there in Europe, amazing. I love it. I love seeing pictures of those high abs with the 4-point connectors that you can pick up off
on the flatbed.
Yeah, and load them onto the flatbed. And you guys do that quick. Oh my! I've seen videos of that, and like I see people take longer to sling dollies underneath cars than it takes you guys to rig these spreader bars and hook a car up from all 4 corners and pick it up without damaging it at all. It's absolutely amazing. I love it.
Absolutely. It is awesome to see how things are done differently in different continents, different countries, everything. Right? We go down to Mexico, Brazil, India, Costa Rica, South Africa, Hong Kong, Ireland, and Chile. We have officially touched every continent.
Yeah.
Very slightly in the African continent, but we have still touched it, no doubt. So thank you guys all for checking it out. These numbers continue to be amazing to us. It's awesome.
Yes. Thank you from the heart of our bottoms.
The heart of our bottoms.
The heart of our
bottoms.
bottoms.
That sounds dirty. I feel like that's how you get into an HR meeting real fast.
That's fine. I don't have an HR department.
That is fair enough. So let me ask you, you want to get pulled into meetings about getting in trouble? I got a question for you, G.
Mm-hmm.
Cash. Company cash. Right? Nowadays, a lot of things is going to credit card, debit. Debit and credit card is another thing we can get into. Who are you using? What are you kind of doing? What are you setting up for your drivers? But I want to talk today about cash. That cold, hard cash. What's your policy on it, right? We obviously accept cash. The driver writes up the invoice. Driver collects the cash. I've seen different systems everywhere. I have seen where a company I knew of, you took the cash, you could keep the cash and they would take it off your payroll. I could only imagine the poor payroll person trying to sort that one out. That was mainly a commission place, but it was a thing. How are you doing it, right? Are you handing in the cash the next day? Is it weekly drops? Is it what is your company policy where you're at now?
So for the company that I'm at now, cash is very lenient. Very, very lenient. I've worked with companies before. Like, I don't want to get too in depth with cash, like my current company.
Yeah, of course.
I've worked with companies before where it doesn't matter. Everything down to the cent is calculated with the cash to the point where you'll get 5 cents back from change.
Right. That checks and balances have to match.
Right? Yep. And that's all fine. I've worked with a company before as well where all the cash that came in, I would just hand it all to the owner and he would divvy out whatever I made off those calls and say, here you go. whatever he does with his half, if he puts it on the books, I don't know.
That's
But-
his business, right?
Yeah, that's his business. I know myself, I just count it as like a tip because you don't claim your tips. I know you're supposed to, technically, I think.
Thank God you don't use your real name. CRA, if you are listening, we claim every tip we make. I'm just saying, I do.
Well, I normally pay tax on it anyways when I buy fuel or whatever the case may be with it. So at least I'm still paying some tax. I'm not just storing it under my bed in a little jar or whatever. But yeah, it is a bit of a touchy
That
subject.
reindeer behind you is flush with cash.
Yes, yes. Right now with the wood prices like that, oh buddy, that thing's worth an arm and a leg.
Rudolph's my retirement plan.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like different companies have different aspects. Some companies want all your cash calls all on bills. Some companies don't care as much. I know there's no mandate in the companies, any of the companies I've ever worked for, that requires me to carry a float to provide change for cash. And there's been some instances where I've asked them, I was like, I know you got cash, but would you mind me just putting it on your credit card because I don't have any change to give you? Because you can just, a lot of times when you get those cash calls, and I know myself, I always say, sorry, I don't carry that much change. And that's how you get like a $5 or $10 tip out of the person, right? A lot of times they'll be like, oh, well, do you have a change for this amount? I'm like, no, I could do credit though. We don't do debit on the road, but we do credit because you got to take the two forms of payment anytime.
The one thing that's important and I think is, really important when it comes to cash, it's always the fear of theft, right? Cash is easy for drivers to get a little sticky. Right? I always have a concern with, especially when the customer doesn't want bills. And I'm not trying to give anyone any ideas out there. Take it as you will. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. But at the same time, management, owners out there, obviously most owners understand because, they've seen it happen over and over again. There's always seems to be that trend of operator at one point that'll come through your place and take advantage of systems. But, customer doesn't want a bill. All right, so the tow is 40 kilometers, right? At $3 a kilometer, right? So $4.80, $120. $120 plus the hookup, whatever it is. But customer doesn't want a bill. Driver then comes back and writes the bill for 30 kilometers, pockets $30 for himself.
Never thought of that.
Yeah. The reason I've thought about it is because I've questioned coworkers before in the past, right? There's definitely, it's an easy with cash. It's easy. Credit card, you lose that ability,
Yep.
right? Because that invoice is tied to that credit card number, that amount. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And with e-transfers nowadays, it's cash is almost obsolete.
Yeah.
Right? There's always, your company, most companies as they grow will set up an e-transfer link where the customer can e-transfer directly. Now there's hard parts for confirmation and everything because you want to make sure it's received on the other end before you, unhook the vehicle, whatever it may be. But, cash, it depends on the operation. I've seen some where, you're not stopping it every day. So you don't drop cash off every day. I've seen other companies, most companies want cash every day, every week, or by the end of the month, right? Especially by the end of the month for the accounting purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But another trick to do to make it a lot easier, especially your basic in-town calls, like your services, your basic unlocks in town, a lot of places, I'm not saying everywhere, will have within city limits, a tire change is this cost, an unlock is this cost, a boost is this cost, a local tow is this cost. Maybe play with those numbers a little bit and incorporate your tax and find ways to make those easy numbers, right? I've known one company that'll do a local call at $53.10. Well, with our tax, that becomes $60 even with taxes.
Yeah.
So, it saves drivers having to fumble for change and everything, $60 if you're paying, there's no reason that you need to make change unless they're paying with 100. Yeah. Or a 50 and a 20, right? And you're at 70. Yep. Like for the most part, it eliminates, it's 320s. Done.
Yeah.
Drivers roll in, no worrying about change. It's easier for the driver to submit. Driver is a good trick you want because I've seen guys mix it up, and a good trick I use. I carry all the cash that I receive in my wallet, but I have learned to fold company cash. I always fold company cash and I leave my cash straight. That way, whenever you get home, because we'll forget, you get busy, you get out on calls, you forget stuff. It does happen. Ideally, it wouldn't, but it happens. And you grab your wallet and you go to pay for something at the store and you see folded cash in there, you know you have company cash on you and you forgot it. Or you know not to spend that cash, because there's nothing worse than an accounting person loves than to come chasing you down for a tow bill you owe for 2 days ago that you should have paid on the spot. But, oh no, I spent the money at the store. I got to go to the bank. Let me e-transfer you. All that bullshit. That money was paid to the company. It better be ready to be submitted to the company.
It was funny. The one day I just started at this one place. I was talking to my manager at the time, and I opened up my wallet for something, and he was like, you have 2 pouches for cash in your wallet too. It must be a tower thing. I was like, what? And he showed me his, and he's got the 2 fucking cash pouches, just like mine.
The divider.
So what I always did with cash is the one closest to me, that's my cash. And the outer pouch, if I had to divvy up my percentage, and I haven't done that yet, it would stay flat. And after I've taken my percentage out of that, it got folded and put in the corner. So
you knew that was just to be submitted, that cash right there.
Yeah. So that cash is the company's cash that needs to be submitted. And if for whatever reason I owe someone else money, I fold it and put it on the other side. Right? So I've got that whole pouch is not my cash, maybe not yet. And then the pouch closer to me is all mine.
Yeah, because a lot of times I'll just, like, if the customer, even if he tips whatever, if the bill's $280 and he gives me $300, I'll fold it all. And then when I go to submit, I'll grab my invoices, I'll grab my cash. Normally I'll add a couple invoices together, count it out. And then whatever's left, that would be any tips or anything, you know what I mean? Any change that I would have been owed from giving them and all that kind of stuff. Good little tips. But yeah, no, definitely any managers, owners out there, keep an eye out, right? That's the biggest, the easiest trick in the game is doing the mileage, right? Especially when a customer doesn't ask for a bill. So with that, what can help solve that? Well, obviously mileage tracking, obviously fleet tracking, obviously dispatch software to keep on top of your invoicing.
Speaking of a dispatching software, we have a product. We had the owner of CompleteTowTools.ca reach out to us and give us his product to play around with and see how we like it. I'm going to put some footage up of said software. It works on both mobile and PC. It's a great dispatching software. You can select the vehicle, make, model. It gives everything. John Deere's, Volvos, like everything.
The database for stored vehicles is pretty big.
It's just massive. Impressive. And gives you spot for your pickup, drop off, whether it's a priority call, boost, unlock, tire change, the whole 9 yards. Everything you need to take a call, no matter what it could possibly be, is there. All at a mouse click, a couple types away, all nice and condensed, quick and easy to use. It's actually a really, really good software to have. Your drivers can have it, the dispatcher can have it, and it's completely customizable. And that's one of the nice things. I've always liked dealing with small companies myself personally. That's what this is nice. If you've got an issue, you got a problem, send him an email, shoot him a text, give him a call, and he's on the ball. He's quick to answer, quick to get back to you, quick to solve your problems, which in this industry, that is needed. If we run into a problem that we physically can't fix ourselves, we need to have that team there that's quick and reliable to get us back on the road. And having something like this for the dispatching software, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Absolutely. Devin was great enough over at Complete Tow Tools. Reach out to him, CompleteTowTools.ca, guys. He was great enough to send us over. He built us our own model that we could play with, our own app from the ground up. And that is the thing they do. This is not your typical box software, right? His team will build you what you need, fully customizable. You can change your tabs, what order you want them in. Everyone's got their personal preference. Change the color schemes around. The dispatch comes to a mobile. The drivers get that information. It's not calling it in, writing it down, radioing it. It's entered into one spot, sent off to the drivers. We've seen the big guys that are out there. There are some big companies out there. Complete Tow Tools definitely gives you that smaller company feel, which gives you that personal connection. And that is what I think a lot of us are looking for in the world where customer service, and that's the business that we're in, is customer service. I think we can all appreciate when these companies come in that are dedicated to, making the product better. They are not just looking to, here's a box, here's a CD, go install it, have a great day. Send us a ticket if there's a problem, and maybe we'll get to it in the next couple months. It's, you get that one-on-one touch with them. It's really amazing what they're doing. They've got everything. You can customize to have priority calls, such as RCMP or police calls. As soon as you dispatch one, it automatically shows up at the top to keep you on top of it. Moves the priority down on the other calls. It can be as simple or complex as you need. That is the great thing about it. If you are just looking for a simple call tracking software, it can do that. If you are looking for, in-depth, massive customer database, all that, it can do that as well. It can, you can look up reports based on trucks, drivers for periods of time, give you a good overview of your company, maybe some numbers you never even thought about looking at.
Yeah, like it can keep track of all the finances as well, too. It'll keep you, if you want to put in all that information on if your accounts are up to date or everything like that, it can keep track of all that for you as well, which is just awesome to have all that information under one roof in one app, easy for you to use and access. And you can have that separate from all your drivers. So you can have a back end and a front end.
Yeah, absolutely. Your drivers can just have access to the calls, where your office staff, you can set different permission levels. They can assist you in creating demand letters and other formal documents. They can advise you on the process of performing liens and seizures, or even suing someone for unpaid debts. They truly are an all-inclusive program. They are looking for the betterment of the towing industry. Like I said, we've played around with it. We've dispatched some calls around. We've really got into it. There's things that I would move around. Having that ability to customize it and reach out to them and have them change it to the order that, I would like it. If I want to put in customer first, or I want to put in vehicle first, they can do that all for you. I highly recommend them, guys, the CompleteTowTools.ca. I can't say enough about it. I've had the pleasure now, I didn't at the time, of using other softwares, and I can tell you, for a smaller company like this, they're on point. They're onto something. And they are only going to continue to get bigger. That is for sure. If they keep bringing out a product like this, right? There's always work to do. They'll continue to grow, and they need your guys' help to get there.
Yeah, like if we can get a couple more companies to get this software and get proper in-use feedback from that, like he'll customize it to your needs. If you get it and you're not happy with it, he can redo it all and give it back to you and make sure that you are happy and satisfied. Give little tweaks to make it quicker and easier for your dispatch to take in and dispatch calls, which is awesome. And like PlainGuy was saying, is the one-on-one, small town, small company feel to it is just, you can't get enough of it, right? And
most software guys will tell you it comes in a box, and you go, this is what it does. Well, I don't need all that. Well, this is what it does. That's what you're getting, where you don't get that with them.
Or I would like this changed. Well, sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah. Sorry, that's how it's built.
Yep. You can customize it. You can change it. You have it complex or basic as you want, which is awesome. I really like it. And I think you guys will too. Feel free to go check them out. We'll put the link for it in the description and maybe along the bottom right through here in the video side of things as well. Check it out. Contact Devin. Show some interest. Maybe he can do something for you to give you a test demo as well to see if you like it. And if you do, I'm sure he's got packages for you to get everything set up with that. Just let him know when you're talking to him, you heard it from us. Let him know that you heard it from us.
No, like I said, we've gotten the chance to check it out. It was great to do. I really enjoyed working with him. And like I said, some companies aren't at the level that require that kind of software, right? I get that. I've been in those companies. And some companies are the type that want, I don't even want to get the amazing things that you can do with this software. It's amazing how much more you learn about your business when all the information is there, right? We've done it. I've designed spreadsheets and different things to keep track of calls and all that. And there is some fancy stuff you can do. It's a whole new level once you start to get into these other companies and the things that they're doing. So yeah, absolutely. Like I said, guys, check out the website, right? CompleteTowTools.ca.
I've worked for companies where they don't have anything like that. And when you're dispatching, like I've dispatched before where someone calls the company, it gets forwarded to my work phone. I've got them on this here, and I pull out my other phone, like my personal phone, and start typing it all out in a text message. And now I'm looking for the driver I want to send that text message to, or myself. So now I'm texting it back to my work phone. And it's just a jumbled mess. Like,
Yep.
and it's hard to read. Where a software like this, if all your drivers have that software enabled on their phone already, just give them access to the actual dispatching side. Boom, it's right there. You can get it on a tablet too if you want on the web
they
browser.
can add in. There's a whole towing ecosystem they can have. You can add in unit maintenance when mileage comes due. You can add in and clock out modules for hourly drivers, right? So instead of having a punch clock, that was to literally be a clock in, clock out on the phone. So when the driver's at home or however you have it set up, whatever your agreement is, it's right there. You get the reports when they were in, when they were out. I'm sure, you know, with tablet tracking and all that, there's the option for geotagging into it as well, right? Yep. It's just, I think it could really make, there's a couple companies that I know personally, they're at that point where it's like, you're ready for this next step of technology. I remember it was the biggest thing, getting away from the pad and paper and going to something like an Excel tracking. And, you know, this is the next thing. This is the next idea of what you need. And I think if a company like that were to go to these box, right, applications that are out there, it might be a little overwhelming. Where somewhere like the Complete Tow Tools with the customizable, you can slowly start to integrate. All right, we want to do our call taking. All right, we're going to integrate our fleet into it. Okay, we're going to add our punch clock feature into it. Okay, we're going to, you know what I mean? And
you can do this all over a course of a year. Yeah. It doesn't have to happen all at once, which is awesome. You can get comfortable with it, then add another feature, get comfortable with it. If you got a couple of older people in your company, it's very easy to learn, right? Not all at once. That where if you have one of these box packages, this is everything it can do. It'll be way overwhelming for some people.
We've known that. We've taken on new programs to do this show with, whether it be video editing or, you know, making our media and everything. It's overwhelming when you make that jump. If you can kind of lean your way in, start off small, build your way up through Complete Tow Tools, I think you'll be set for a good place. So thanks for reaching out, Devin. We appreciate it. We definitely enjoyed your product. We hope anyone listening will enjoy it as well, guys. Check them out. See what he can do for you.
That's www.CompleteTowTools.ca.
Absolutely. And if you do check it out, or you already use it, why don't you head on over to our, Facebook, send us a message, email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Right? Head over to the website, towinglife.ca. Tell us your review on it, what you think about it. If you've used it in the future, if you go ahead and try it because of hearing it here, going, why not? Let's maybe take that chance on it. Let us know what you think. We want to hear your feedback just as much as Complete Tow Tools does. So, absolutely.
So, with that being said, you're talking about involvement within the company. What about involvement outside of the company, into the community?
Your segues are so shit.
Hey, sometimes. So are yours sometimes. But community involvement within the company. So what do you guys do in your companies, in your area? He's laughing. He's killing himself over there.
I am not. The audio listener did not know I was laughing at you, okay? I was saving some grace.
What do you guys do to help spark... I'm done. I'm done. You take it away.
I'll take it over from here. What I meant by this when we talked about is the community involvement, right? We talked about doing the Santa Claus parades and all that. That kind of active involvement. What I want to know is other things other than that. Like the parades happen once a year. I mean, companies I know are doing toy drives. They're collecting toys to give to a charity. Company I know, we're collecting winter jackets to give to the church to hand out to the less fortunate, especially with winter coming. Company I know, the high school, they will tow donated cars to the high school free of charge, right? All these high school auto shops, which is a dying program, especially in our region. I don't know about UG up there. I think it's still as well. The city, I feel like in Ontario and possibly Canada, at least the eastern part where we're in, it's dying, these auto shops, right? The kids aren't learning these trades. In towns, there's companies that tow the vehicles for free. So someone will go, we donate the car to the school. The kids will get an opportunity to fix things on this car all through their auto shop program, but they need the cars to work on. There's companies that'll tow the cars for that for free. And it doesn't matter, a lot of times we're not towing cars that, brakes are seized. It's something that would be going to scrap that the kids get an opportunity to work on and learn from. And they do stuff like that for free. What kind of community involvement? What are great ideas for stuff like that? Who can you reach out to, right? Reach out to your local high schools. What programs do you know of companies doing? What can we bring? How can the towing industry give back to the community?
So I know a lot of companies will sponsor sports for kids, like soccer teams, football teams, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And when you walk into these places, if you're picking up a car from an impound lot, you can just see whole walls covered with these and sponsoring teams year after year after year after year. And it's a nice thing to see because you are now giving those kids something to do. And you get your name of your company on the back of these jerseys if you're buying the jerseys or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, whatever your agreement is. Yeah.
I also used to work for a company that all the fire department needed cars to practice on. So
Right.
any vehicles that were left in the impound that didn't get paid for, we got towed to their training yard and ripped to shit.
Yeah, they're
And
always
you
fun to
have to
tow
tow
there.
back.
They're never fun to tow back.
No, never fun to tow back. Never. And yeah, that's just one of the ways. You're not really giving back to the community at that point. You're kind of just helping out the fire department. But
That stuff goes a long way.
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, you maintain relationships within your community because those firefighters themselves might need a tow one day.
Well, they're
Or they
members
might
of your
like-
community, and they're very active in the community. So if they can pass on the good word as well, it
Oh, yeah.
definitely can't hurt. I used to work for a company where we used to stage accidents for the fire department in our yard.
Mm.
That was fun. Rolling over cars, wedging cars up, making it kind of look like an accident, and then, you know, again, putting the cars back always sucked after because the glass, you can never get it all out of the yard, right? We'd always do it in a non-used part of the yard. Drain
Or in the
fluids
far
out.
dark corner that no one goes or talks about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to tip them on their side, smash them into each other a little bit, and then they would just cut them to pieces. I mean, we're cutting doors, we're cutting pillars, we're cutting subframes. Like that car folds in two when you're done. It needs a flatbed at that point. I can tow anything on a wrecker, but I mean, it was a
I'm
lot
going
of
to need
chains.
2 wreckers to tow this one car.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much is what it felt like. So, yeah, no. But getting involved with your community like that, right? Like, and it's simple things that don't, hey, what's it going to cost you as an owner to tow a vehicle to the local high school? You know, what's it going to do? And you know what? Never mind the fame even that comes with it. It's for a good cause. It's getting kids learning, right? You see a lot of the mechanic industry and even the towing industry are very intertwined. That guy that you got working on that car in that shop might be your next tow operator in 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? The jacket drive, I always love that. With offer to pick up. That was the kicker. If you're in town and you have a jacket that you want to donate, you just give us a call. We got tow trucks running around town all day. We'll come to your door, we'll pick it up.
Yeah.
All those jackets go to a good cause. They go to a church. They get handed out with wintertime coming, right? Toy drive for children, for less fortunate children, right? We've got one of those on the go right now where, you know, drop off toys for kids. We're going to donate them to a local charity club. They're going to distribute them to the children. Little things like that really don't take much time. And they can definitely go a long way. And, you know, I think they really help carry your name. I think community involvement, we're seeing more of the big companies are not only just successful because of, you know, what they've built, they're also tend to be fairly active in the communities.
Yeah, and especially if you're planning on growing your company and expanding to new areas, get involved in that area you want to expand to as well. If you get a couple trucks stationed out there, support the local soccer team or whatever the case may be.
Do the
It helps
charity
keep
car
you-
washes. Make sure to bring your truck
Yeah.
to the charity car wash and throw an extra $20, right?
Yep.
Because it's not a car, it's a truck.
Yep.
You know, it's little things like that. They go a long way.
Yeah, and yeah, we drive around and driving billboards all day. We do. But people don't recognize those billboards. I've talked to someone who lived in my town for 15 years, and he had no idea who the company I was working for was. Oh, I seen tow trucks around, but I didn't know what company they were from.
You never took notice. Yeah.
Yeah, never took notice of it. And you're like, well, this company might have been in the area for 50 years. And you got someone who's been living here for 15 that has no idea who you are. Maybe, just maybe, if you sponsored a certain program in that area or did these charity drives, that person would know about you. Now, granted, they might just be part of a roadside and they'll get who they get wherever they are, but you never know, right? It's about giving back to the place that feeds you, right?
You want to get spotted in your town? Buy some bright yellow trucks and paint flames on them. You will definitely get noticed in your town that way. There's ways to do it, guys, with all your company branding and everything else. It's all these plain white trucks we see driving around. No one knows who's who. They'll
or maybe even a camouflage truck. Yeah.
Yeah, get a camouflage. Hey, all the white trucks all look alike.
Yeah.
You want to be flashy, get green with purple flames, get yellow with orange flames, whatever you want to do.
You know what's real funny? You sent me a picture of a new truck you guys just bought.
Yeah.
And guess who's getting a new truck?
You are.
Yes.
There you go.
Guess what I'm going into?
A flatbed.
Flatbed full time. Yeah.
Are you coming to where I'm working to drive my new truck?
No, buddy, no. My new flatbed was supposed to be here today, and it's being delivered from the States. And they just sent us a message saying, "Oh, your new truck, we can't deliver it today. There's a problem, and we need our software to fix it, but our software is having issues." That's great. Way to tell me my new truck's a piece of shit before I even get my hands on it.
How do you know your truck's a piece of shit without knowing your truck's a piece of shit?
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, congratulations for you. And at the same time, my condolences for being a full-time flatbed driver.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get myself a couple of Scotch blocks for the rear tires. And I also want to get one of those like pulley things that mount on the back of the bed with the 3 pulleys on
Side
it.
pullers?
Yeah, not a side puller per se, because it's got the bottom roller as well.
I don't know. I've always referred to them as side pullers for flatbeds, but
yeah, I guess
someone can correct me on what the proper term is.
I don't want to be one of those flatbed guys that gets to a recovery and says, "No, I can't do it."
Have you not seen the? This is completely going off topic, but have you not seen the new ones that they have instead of those 3 rollers with the shiv head?
Oh yeah, those are cool too.
You flip it upside down, you lock the line in, it becomes a shiv head. So at the end of the bed, guys, if you're not aware, you put this block in. Normally there's a hole in the end of the bed. You put a block in, you pin it from the bottom. There used to be a roller on the left, a roller on the right, and a roller on the bottom, and that's what you would use for a side pull on a flatbed off the tailboard. They came out with the same style that locks into the bed. However, it's got a shiv head just like a wrecker on it. You flip it upside down, you feed the line through, you flip it back.
So you can do those 45s and everything, just not a straight off 90 or
exactly,
80, right?
Exactly. So that's the newer design on it. It is pretty cool. We're talking full size flatbed here, I'm guessing.
23,000 GVW.
Oh, okay. All right.
Juice brakes, so anyone can drive it.
Yep.
But yeah, the truck, it's a regular cab, one of those new GM International hybrids.
Oh, what do they call those? I can't remember the name for them.
I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Apparently they're real light though. Apparently it's coming in around 14,000, which is as light as one of our decent sized 2-ton wreckers.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy considering we have a Ford flatbed that's like pushing 17.
Aluminum or steel bed?
Should be aluminum.
That's another debate we're going to get into, is aluminum or steel bed. Why don't we have that on the next episode as well if we get a chance, if we don't have our guest? Aluminum versus steel bed. I like aluminum. I hate aluminum. So there's plenty.
I've seen aluminum come in real handy and also turn out very bad.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Absolutely. Well, so G's getting a new truck. He's sick. We're not going to say he's got the COVID because we don't want to build the hype up, but he's sick. He might not be here. He might not be here to host his episode by himself without me.
Hey, fuck you.
After you guys voted me off. But that being said, we are out of time for this week's show, guys. Don't forget, any comments, questions, concerns, visit us at the website, TowingLife.ca, on our Facebook at the Towing Life Podcast on Facebook, or email us at thetowinglife@gmail.com. Don't be afraid to check out our good friends over at CompleteTowTools.ca for some dispatching software for your company. And
yeah, we would like to thank everyone for listening and watching. It means a lot to us. Thank you for pumping up those numbers all the time, and thank you for Complete Tow Tools for reaching out to us. With all that said, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye for now.